Hi guys, so it's been a while since I've talked to you, or you've seen my face, unless you've been watching my old videos. It's also been a while since I've really read a lot. The past couple of months have just been kind of hard, so I haven't really been filming or had anything to film. Hopefully I can get back into the swing of things and start working on that soon. I don't know yet, so right now I'm just going to film about a 6-month wrap-up because I never did my April wrap-up. So this is all the books I read in April, May, June, July, and August, and what I'm currently reading. One of the things that I stopped doing was rating on Goodreads. I have updated my Goodreads, but I haven't really been rating things, so unlike last time, I won't be telling you my ratings that I usually do. I also may not be able to give very big descriptions about some of these books because I read them 6 months ago, but I will try. I read 13 books in that time span, so let me tell you about what I read. The first book I read in April was Tech Everlasting by Natalie Babbitt. I read this in preparation to go see the musical on Broadway, which I enjoyed. It's just a short little story about a girl who gets mad and runs away, but then finds out a secret that she's not supposed to know, so she kind of gets kidnapped, but not really kidnapped, and it's just a really cute story. After that, I finished The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. This is about a little girl during the Holocaust. I read this because my friend Ashley wanted me to, and I really enjoyed it. After that, I read A Walk to Remember by Nicholas Sparks. This is the second book he published. I think it's like the 4th or 5th book that I've read by him. This is about a high school couple. They don't start out as a couple, obviously, and the girl has some major issues that come to light in a very sad way, and this book made me very sad. After that, I read The Wicked and the Divine, Part 1. This is a bind-up of the first 6 comics, I believe. I'm not absolutely 100% certain, but it's a bind-up of the first set of comics that they released. This is about gods that come to Earth as in the shape of teenagers and die 2 years later and then come back in 90 years. I don't really know. I don't completely understand, and it's also been a while since I read this. Then I picked up the book with no pictures. I actually read this in the bookstore and was like, I need this. And it's just a story. It's not really a story, it's just funny, and it's really meant to be read out loud. So you kind of just read it out loud to a child and they're gonna laugh, because I laughed reading it to myself. And then the last book I read in April was My Kinda Crazy by Robin Rule. I got an advanced e-arc of it. I didn't read it until after the actual publication date, and I believe it's about 2 teenagers. The boy tries to get the girl's attention and it ends horribly, but the story goes quite entertainingly from there. After that, I didn't really read as much. So that was all I read in the month of April, and these are all the books that I read May through August. So the first book that I managed to finish was Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. We all know what this one's about. I went and saw the movie after I read the book. I did not cry during either. They were very sad. They just didn't tear me apart. And for those of you who don't know what it's about a woman who goes to care for a quadriplegic man, and entertaining things ensue. Then I picked up the 4th book in the series of unfortunate events, The Miserable Mill by Lemony Snicket. This one, the children go to live in a miserable mill, and they are miserable, and it's awful. I am nowhere near close to where I want to be with this series because I wanted to finish it by the end of the year, and I have not read one since this one. Then I read Hold Me Closer by David Levithan. This is kind of a companion novel to Will Grayson, co-authored by David Levithan and John Green. This is the play musical that they talk about in the book. It's written by Tiny Cooper, one of the characters, and it's all about his love life. Then I finally finished listening to Eat, Pray, Love on audiobook. It was enjoyable. I liked it. Not much else to say about it. It's about a woman who goes to 3 different countries after she gets divorced. This is actually a memoir, so it's Elizabeth Gilbert is the woman in the story. She's telling you about her life. She just kind of learns about herself, and it's interesting. Then I finally read this book that my friend gave to me like 2 years ago for my birthday. It's Child of the Northern Springs by Persia Woolley. This is an Arthurian retelling told from the perspective of Guinevere, and this one starts as it goes through with flashbacks, and it telling her, like, she's telling the journey that she's making from her home to where Arthur is, so that they can get married, but it's also flashing back to, you know, times she spent with her mother, times different things happened, fun stuff like that, and it also has flashbacks for other characters, and then we get to the wedding, and then it goes through a little past the wedding, and then it ends, because this is part of a trilogy, which I think Emily needs to get me the second book for my birthday this year so that I can continue reading it. Hint, hint, I know you're watching. These last 4 books I read in the month of August. Been getting a little bit better. I've started reading more, and it's kind of nice. The first one, I don't have a copy of it. It is The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, Volume 1 and 2. They were bound together. I borrowed it from my friend. It is about a couple of different characters from a couple of different classics getting together to do things. And it was interesting. I didn't really like it all that much. The art was strange. I didn't really actually know the characters because I haven't read any of their stories. So it was okay, but it wasn't amazing to me. It would have been better if I had read their stories. Then I read Is Everyone Hanging Out Without Me? And Other Concerns by Mindy Kaling. This is her collection of essays, and they're cute, they're funny, they're relatable, they're just so entertaining. There was one section and it was like best friend, and I sent the picture of like 6 pages to my best friend. But yeah, it was just a really cute book and really fun to read, and I really enjoyed it. After that, I actually read both of these books for the Year-a-thon, Part 8. It's always the first week of the month, the first full week, and for the month of August it was nonfiction. So instead of reading real nonfiction, I just read memoirs because I like them, and it got me to read 2 books that week. Then I read You're Never Weird on the Internet, Almost, by Felicia Day. This is her entire life story, and it was interesting, and it was funny, and it was really deep, and it was just really enjoyable to read and realize how hard it is. Like, you know, for these people who seem so well put together and so great and so amazing, like, I want to be that person. And then to see just what they had to go through, it's always refreshing. And the last book that I have finished so far is The Fellowship of the Ring by J.R.R. Tolkien. I'm finally rereading this trilogy because I just want to finish it this time. I'm doing it really slow though. I read the first half of the book, and then I read my 2 nonfictions, and then I read the second half of the book, and now I'm reading another book before I start The Two Towers, and I'm probably going to split that book up too, just because I don't want to burn myself out because these books are very heavy. That's also why I'm reading them in separate editions. As you can see, I did a bunch of tabbing. I also did a bunch of highlighting and writing, and I have a little journal that I've been keeping notes in. I don't know if I'll finish it before the end of this month because it is still only the 22nd. As I'm recording this, I don't know what day I'll actually upload it. Maybe tonight, maybe later this week. But I'm currently reading At Home in Mitford by Jan Karen. My mom has suggested this to me because it is about a priest, and it's about an Episcopalian, which I was raised Episcopalian because my mom is, and it's about a small town called Mitford, and she said it's cute and funny and quirky, and so far it's just boring and wordy, but I'm hoping I'll get to the cute and quirky soon. So far to date, I have finished 45 real books, 47 books including the 2 children's books I read, so that's exciting. I'm keeping up with my goal. As long as I read about 5 books a month for the rest of the year, I will meet my goal of 60 books that I put on Goodreads. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you can check out my next video. Have a great day and a wonderful week. Bye.